It's slow cooker season, everybody, and that means easy drop and go dinners that require little fuss or attention. This succulent shredded barbecue chicken is perfect on a toasted bun, paired with an equally easy, boldly flavorful potato salad that takes all the flavors of a loaded baked potato and offers them in a cold and tangy salad. All right, first up, we've got our crock pot out here, and we're going to add in about 2.5 to 3 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken. I'm going with breast, but you could use thighs if you'd like to. We're going to season those generously with a nice hefty pinch of salt and a good cracking of fresh black pepper. Once that's done, we're going to add in 1 white onion, which I have peeled, cut the stems off, and cut very thinly. It's going to basically melt away into nothing as it cooks. We'll splash in a little red wine vinegar, some brown sugar, some Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of garlic or jarlic, and a lot of barbecue sauce. Now, I prefer using a barbecue sauce that isn't overly sweet here. We're going to go in with about 1.5 cups of your preferred barbecue sauce, but since we are adding brown sugar, I think no need to have the super sweet barbecue sauce. Either way, we're going to put this on high for about 2 to 3 hours. You could do it on low for 6 to 7, and we'll turn our attention to the rest of our meal. We're going to grab 2 really nice large russet potatoes here, give those a rinse and pat them dry. And then we'll go ahead and air fry those, or you could just bake them until they are nice and soft and cooked all the way through. Now, this is a little unusual for potato salad because typically you boil your potatoes, but I love the texture and quite frankly the ease of baking the potatoes and using them that way. So once they are cooled down to room temperature, we'll go ahead and cut those in half and then down to quarters. Then we'll just cut them up into some large bite-sized pieces. They're relatively soft, so they are going to break up just a little bit. And by the way, for those of you a little bit suspicious of the peel or the skin, you could definitely take that off, but I love it. Adds texture and lots of great vitamins. So anyways, our dressing for this loaded potato salad is going to be some mayonnaise, some sour cream, some Dijon mustard, a splash of red wine vinegar, some fresh cracked pepper, and of course a nice hefty pinch of salt because potatoes love and need salt. And finally, and this part's optional, but I love to add about 1/3 of a packet of ranch dressing seasoning to this mixture. Again, it's optional, and if you're going to add this, definitely go light on the salt at the very beginning, because this has got a ton of salt and sodium in it, but I love the herbal and tangy notes that it brings to the party, so definitely going to add some of that in. Next up, we'll add our potatoes to this dressing, or sauce, whatever you want to call it. To those potatoes, we're going to add all the traditional loaded baked potato toppings, lots of green onions, some cooked and crumbled bacon, and a good handful of sharp, freshly shredded cheddar cheese. By the way, all the exact amounts and instructions are down below, so no need to take notes. Just watch along, enjoy, and hopefully you'll make this and give it a try. This is one of my favorite potato salads out there, and making it with baked potatoes or even just leftover cooked potatoes is a great way to go. Super easy and quick. Pop that in the fridge for at least 30 minutes to set up, and then taste and adjust the seasoning as needed. Now, we got to have some slaw to go with our barbecue chicken, so I've just got a bag of slaw mix here. A little bit of a shortcut, but we're going to jazz it up. So first up, I've got 1 fresh jalapeno. You could definitely take the seeds out if you want to, but I'm just going to go ahead and slice that thinly and add that in, along with maybe 1/3 cup of mayonnaise, a little touch of chipotle powder. That's optional, but it adds a nice smoke and a little bit of a nice orange color. We'll go in there with a splash of cider vinegar, of course, pepper and salt, and then I'm using a little hot honey, but if you don't have that around, some plain honey would be just fine. But we do want something to bring a little sweetness to balance out the acidity of the vinegar and the heat from the jalapenos and chipotle. So give that a nice mix and make sure it is well combined, and at that point pop that in the fridge and hold on to it for later. We can return to our chicken, which at this point is thoroughly cooked through, and that breast is a little bit misleading because the other 2 that I tried to pull out basically just fell right apart. That's the goal, of course. Those that didn't fall right apart, we're going to pop them into a bowl and go ahead and give them a thorough shredding. You could use your hands if this was cool enough, but because this was still steaming hot, I went in with a couple of forks, and as you can see, the stuff just falls apart, super tender, but it is not going to be dry. We're going to return it to that barbecue, Worcestershire vinegar, onion, garlic mixture, stir it around, and just keep that over low heat until you are ready to eat. By the way, you can of course taste that for salt and pepper as well. I think this has to be served on a toasted bun. I've got some brioche buns here that I toasted up nice and lightly in my air fryer. We'll go down with a nice pile of that barbecue chicken, an equally hefty, healthy pile of that fresh slaw. I love homemade slaw. Even using the bag mix, this stuff is so great. It's cool and crunchy and vibrant. You can control the heat and all the acidity. Just so much better than store-bought stuff, even when you buy the store-bought bag. Anyways, this potato salad, guys, I'm telling you, it is Well, it's as advertised. It's all the flavors of a loaded baked potato, which is one of my favorite ways to eat baked potatoes, in a cool potato salad form, smokiness from the bacon, a fresh little herbalness from the green onion. Man, that is awesome potato salad. And speaking of awesome, this sandwich is absolutely divine. Does it taste better because I literally did nothing but drop it into a slow cooker for 3 hours and then shred it? I don't know. It's possible. But either way, it's succulent, it's sweet, it's tangy, that slaw is spicy and crunchy, and it is a great bowl of food. If you're not using your slow cooker, I don't know what you're waiting for. This is the perfect, simple recipe to start off with, so go and make something delicious.